The following episode of the Carnival of Randomness is sponsored by an important message to you, the people, from Upsitnik and Associates. Every day there are forces that are taking from you, stealing from you. Your money, your time, your freedom. Immense faceless corporations, banks, credit card companies, insurance providers, government agencies, this list goes on and on. When you are under attack and facing crisis, turn to us, Upsitnik and Associates, attorneys for you, the people. When every day becomes a battle, we can advise and assist. We have been advocates for 40 years. Email us through upsitnikslaw.com or call us at 1-866-391-3299 or reach out to us through Upsitnik and Associates on Facebook for a prompt, no obligation communication and consultation. Don't be pushed around.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Carnival of Randomness. And Zach, it's Great Pumpkin time.
Happy Halloween, bitches.
You didn't say the magic words with Great Pumpkin, though.
Well, can I?
Maybe there's
young
kids
ears
around. We
in the
won't
studio.
say it. Just imagine.
Well,
But I'll
case,
just say
ladies
before
and
I start a little bit about the Great Pumpkin, because it's a holiday classic, but they should have a sequel. And in the sequel, they should have a foreign exchange student. She's from far off land, and she has 3 dragons. And she ends up burning down the pumpkin patch to save them from the tyranny of the Great Pumpkin. She's very misunderstood, but she tried to save them.
Charlie Brown's an asshole.
Okay. You didn't hear that. So on that, it's our Halloween special, and we have a full house here of everybody. If you want to go around the room, it's Greg.
Hi.
It's Count Mike. I can't do it.
I know, you can't do it, but I am here for you on this Halloween.
Hey, Susie.
special.
Hi.
Da.
Hi, Casey.
Hello.
Hey, Vicky.
Hello.
Patrick.
Hello.
And that's it, I guess, except for Zach, who didn't count.
You already knew I was here.
So Halloween, everybody. What do you think of Halloween?
Happy Halloween.
So tell us more about this Peanuts from Another Dimension.
Well, I thought it would be a sequel because a lot of people wonder. I think Great Pumpkin's like waiting for the Godot. So they have a foreign exchange student, and she turns out to have 3 dragons, and she turns out the Great Pumpkins are tyrants. So she frees them by burning down the pumpkin patches. And I think this is a great idea.
You now have to cut a check to
reimagined.
some fat guy in a train hat for $3.
Burning all the pumpkins? How did that help them?
Well, it was accidental. It was accidental. So, anybody, does anybody have any favorite Halloween specials?
Elvira.
Elvira.
Like Elvira?
Yeah, those were good.
They're actually, and we still watch Swanguli.
Yeah.
We still watch
We love
my friend
Sven. Yeah.
Does anyone remember the movie The Craft?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You kidding? They're remaking it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's so cool.
Or
House
is it
on Haunted
rebooting it?
Hill
I don't
was a
know. I don't know
really
what
good
it's called.
The house with Vincent Price.
Dredging it back up.
That's right. And
You know the one I found recently? I've asked around a little poll of films for Halloween. A lot of people mention Hocus Pocus.
Yes, I remember.
Oh, that was
People love that movie.
It's a classic movie.
They had the 45. They did Hocus Pocus by Focus. Yeah.
Magic always creeped me out.
Right.
I finally saw that. After
great.
that was the commercial that scarred children around my age when it was on television
Right.
because it was just the dummy's head
Right.
and the eyes opened and it turned around and apparently I thought I was alone in this, but apparently the entire everyone who was about between 5 and 10 in that and 1980 was traumatized by that commercial.
They all wet their
man.
pants. It's terrible.
I still
Who let this
still
guy
have the
in here?
pants.
No.
I remember
Open
trying
up
to
the
watch a
crate.
movie, and
Yeah.
I put on Labyrinth because I thought it was a kid's film, and
Thank you.
with David Bowie, and it turns out it is a kid's film, but it's really creepy.
Oh, you're
for
talking about
children.
Labyrinth?
Yes.
I love Labyrinth. It's one of my favorites.
I
That
like
is a
it
good.
too.
That's a good one.
Children think otherwise usually. They're like, what am I watching?
Well, The Dark Crystal.
Yeah,
Puppets,
Dark
Bowie.
Crystal too, yeah.
Stuff
Have you guys
Crouch
seen
and
the
a bull.
remake of that yet on Netflix?
Yeah.
It's really
pretty
actually
cool.
better than I thought it was going to be.
I still have to watch that.
It's
Yeah,
cool.
It's on my list.
Yeah.
A lot of screaming and things blowing up. And
My daughter at 10, actually 7, was totally thrilled with Labyrinth. She would watch it every day. And also Princess Bride.
I like it.
Oh,
That's
they're remaking that too.
story.
that needs to be stopped.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
You're welcome. That
Limo.
song is going to be
Very
going through
scary.
your head for the rest of the day.
It does end, though. It does
Well,
end.
that's what I mean. If it's a
Does
never-ending
end.
story, how do they have a sequel?
Oh, good point. Yep.
But
him on
that's
that
one of the things. But in terms of like specials or anything, I mean, everybody knows Charlie Brown.
Oh
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
great
I'm married to him.
Rob, you and I were talking about one the other day. How about the Garfield Halloween one?
Yeah, but are there any more obscure ones you've seen, like around? Any more obscure specials? One of them I just watched was the Halloween Tree. It was the Ray Bradbury story. It had voice of Leonard Nimoy.
It's
like
Nimoy, the Vulcan.
He's a scream.
I can't.
No good, but they've green blood. No good.
Trying to think.
I don't know too many Halloween specials.
No, because there's more Thanksgiving specials than Halloween specials. It seems.
I always wish they had a Bauhaus Halloween special. That would have been great.
Oh yeah.
Bela Lugosi is dead.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Bella Lugosi's
I-
dead.
How do they
I
matter?
don't care. If they,
Dead.
this time of year, I will put that song on
Undead.
in my car
So fun.
and go somewhere that takes 8 minutes.
Well,
to
you
get
know,
to.
today's actually Bela Lugosi's birthday. This might not be
I was
coming
going to
out.
say, as we're recording it,
It's actually his birthday
and
today.
Rob, yesterday was Tor Johnson's birthday.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh no.
Does anybody remember? Some of you are too young. Some of you are the Tor Johnson Halloween mask.
Oh,
They were
no.
always out.
Always
That was how
out.
he's like a famous Halloween mask.
Wow.
Thor Johnson.
And then there's the movie The Unearthly, which I think he plays the same character because there's a character called Lobo.
Yeah, he was
from
Lobo
Bride of
in
the
both.
Monster.
Oh, okay. Which is an interesting movie. I've seen that.
Well, Ed Wood.
Geek night.
He's in Plan 9 as well.
That's right.
Yes. I like think of that bit from Ed Wood where they do the take where he crashes into the fake door and they just keep going. After the whole is like, no, that's a problem he would have every day. He would have to go through that door.
You know, anytime that you say Ed Wood and Bela Lugosi, all I can hear in my head is pull the string.
Yes. I have
Pull the
Well, as everybody
string.
knows the famous story about Plan 9, or not just the High Risers song, of course.
No, not from outer space.
And you wonder if that was so bad. What were the other first 8 plans?
Right, and did they have a Plan 10 in case Plan 9 failed?
But then, remember, if anybody who hasn't actually seen this, there's stock footage of Bela Lugosi. Then Edward got his chiropractor, who looked nothing like Bela Lugosi.
Yeah, it was like 8 inches taller
fill
than
in
him.
for him.
Yes.
And he was walking around with his
his
cape in
cape
front of
and-
his face, Count Chocula style, the whole rest of the
They
movie.
fired the continuity person. So
They didn't-
I don't think
It was
there
Ed
a script
Wood. He
supervisor
was
on
the
an Ed Wood
continuity
movie.
person.
Well, one question,
What a
Okay, then,
wackadoo.
one question to this day, nobody really knows what the flying saucers were made of.
They were paper plates. Everyone knows. It's on fire.
There you go.
So who? Okay, all the older guys like me. You remember the famous Monsters of Filmland magazine?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
own
yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
We cherish those things. Going to buy those things.
is the inspiration for like everyone who made horror movies, from like the 60s or 70s on.
Right.
Was famous Monsters of Filmland. They would read the magazine, and guys like John Carpenter and all those guys would and make masterpieces like Halloween and Friday the 13th.
Right. And I think even before that, when I was reading them, they were more like the Universal, the old.
Oh,
30s,
yeah.
40s.
Was that when they were chiseled into stone? Or
Yeah.
The Marvel.
Yeah.
you can't get to me.
It
There's
was-
a lot of people between us.
It was tough to carry those around.
They
but-
were written in blood.
But I think that's something I want to bring up is like, what happened in the time period between that and when I was growing up? Because there wasn't anything like that in like the 80s, really.
I always wanted to know. Yeah.
just sort of went out of favor. I think.
No, I always wanted to have them redo Terror Train.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was the worst. It was the worst.
Remember all those
So
knockoffs
horrible.
after Halloween, Prom Night, Terror Train?
It launched the whole slasher movie.
It was like a
thing.
triple B movie.
But yeah, they of all the knockoffs,
Triple B
Friday the
knockoff,
13th
get it?
is probably one of them that had the most actual like legs. In my
Yeah,
opinion, but
it's still going. I don't know how.
they're trying. I mean, Halloween is back though, but and it's actually really good, in my opinion. but-
Speaking of that, who's seen the Creepshow TV show?
Oh no, I have not.
Oh,
Is it?
I love
Have you seen
Creepshow.
it?
I've heard it's good. I haven't seen it yet because it's only on a streaming service. It's not on actual TV.
It's on Shudder.
Shudder.
Yeah.
But
No,
Greg
it's very
Nicotero is
similar to,
involved.
Oh yeah,
It's very similar to
The original movie?
no, the character I guess reminds me of
That guy. That girl.
oh my goodness.
Sergeant Kabuki Man.
That skeleton, that robot skeleton. It was.
Crypt Keeper.
Is it,
Yeah, the Crypt Keeper. The Crypt
Keeper.
Keeper.
It reminded me of like a different version of that.
Yeah.
'Cause it had like this. You've seen it.
I haven't seen it, but I know what you're. Yeah, I mean, I know.
We
what
remember
you're-
the old EC comics.
Crypt Creeper was my favorite.
Stories.
Hello.
Yeah.
Well, the old ha 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 ha, the laugh.
Yeah.
Well,
And it's like the jaw goes.
Well, sometimes they have to know how to stop, though.
Some
It's
of
like
them
I
are
think,
kinda
like
cheesy, though.
you see, there's like a new
Yeah.
Terminator
Well, that's
film out.
funny.
Terminator Genesis was it. That was it.
And that was my question to you when I saw that. Is like, is Linda Hamilton broke? I mean, I'll send her money.
Just watch Genesis. That was better.
No.
They just keep making sequels that ignore all the other ones.
I'm so
No,
sorry.
that ignores it. No, well, now this one is going to ignore all the
Well,
other
has
ones.
anybody seen the newest Halloween movie from last year?
That, in my opinion, that did it successfully. I think
What about
I think it
Evil
did it
Dead?
successfully.
I think
The
you got to
latest
take
Evil
in
Dead.
with the Terminator
That
thing. You
was
got to take
okay.
into account that
about
they're doing a time thing. So now
Well,
it's
that's-
like
that- well,
way
that-
later, and she's older, and all that.
That's
Well, I
the
think
thing that
Genesis
always
answered
saves you in
all.
those
I
kind of
think
movies. is
Genesis
time travel
answered
can
all the
always-
questions.
it's
I
the
don't
ultimate
think
plot
there's any
device.
more.
Always dangerous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, time travel as a story trope is the thing that can fix anything. I mean,
Right.
As
how they-
Doctor Who.
yeah, Doctor Who, as the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, they used, it's like how do they fix everything? Time travel,
Yeah, it's an easy out.
It is.
Time and
And DC blows
relevant
everything up, so.
Yeah.
dimensions in space.
Yes,
Of
which
course.
was the name invented by the Doctor's granddaughter, but then also invented by the Time Lords. But that's a whole other Doctor Who
Time
continuity
travel.
is
Time travel. That
yeah.
explains it.
Please don't mind me for a second.
Yeah.
And
No, that's driving me
Walls
crazy
are
too.
collapsing.
But what about Tales from the Dark Side,
Oh,
though?
no,
It's-
I
Tales-
just haven't
Oh
seen it.
yeah, that was a very
I get the
cool. That
lines
was
out.
God. Who
Yeah.
was behind that? Was oh God, I'm trying to
George Romero.
Yeah, it was George Romero produced
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, he was. Oh yeah, he's gone. He just passed.
No,
away.
because Romero passed away a few years ago.
Yeah.
He's halfway to his ultimate plan. As the father of the zombies,
Yes.
he's halfway there.
And
Loved
favorite
him.
son of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, well, he Carnegie Mellon graduate. Actually, speaking of Greg Nicotero, last Christmas I went back home to Pittsburgh. I meet my family at an Indian restaurant, and I come in and I see this guy. I'm like, why does this guy look familiar? I can't place it. And I said, whatever. He was talking to two people who had their backs to me. I go around and sit down, and I recognize the guy across from him as shit. Now I just blanked on his name. The
it's
special
an awesome
effects
name.
artist for
Greg Nicotero.
no, the special effects artist for Romero, Tom Savini.
Tom Savini.
Oh wow.
Tom Savini's sitting there.
Oh, yeah.
And then as I left,
great.
I recognized the guy who I saw first, and it was Greg Nicotero.
Oh my god.
So I saw Greg Nicotero and Tom Savini having lunch at an Indian restaurant outside of Pittsburgh.
Where was Rick Baker?
He wasn't there. Shockingly wasn't there.
Yeah,
there.
right.
But no, because Greg Nicotero, I forgot, is from Pittsburgh. I guess he'd come home for
okay.
Christmas to visit the family. And it's like, wow.
Tom Savini was he would because he would also get into the mix. You know, he would act too. He was
Yeah.
the bikers who wreck everything in Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
He was the leader of the bikers who.
And he was
just
the
wreck
guy with the
everything.
gun crotch. Or the crotch
Oh
gun.
yeah,
Love them packs.
Sex Machine.
Yeah. In that
Yep,
one.
in From Dusk Till Dawn.
From Dusk Till Dawn.
Which I really liked. They had a good soundtrack, too.
Yeah.
Great, yeah.
That one I really liked, though. One I wanted to bring up that's totally different, though, is Midsummer.
Nope. Blank. I don't know it. What is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So is everybody familiar with the movie Hereditary?
Nope.
Okay.
Because I was going to ask the question, who's really around now for horror directors? Who's really on the...
Ari Aster is the guy right now. I mean, him and Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele's movies.
But yeah, Ari Aster. Have you seen Us? No.
I kind of lost all interest in seeing Jordan Peele when he said he didn't want to hire white actors because he'd been there, done that.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that. He said he was not going to cast a white lead in his movies. He didn't say he was going to cast white actors. There's lots of white actors in his movies. He was just gonna tell a white person's story.
It's still.
I know. No, I'm just putting a fine point on it because that's what he meant.
And Tim, what was that?
I don't think.
What was that when he did
diffuses
Get
the
Out?
point. Yeah.
I wanted to get out after watching that one.
I really liked it. I because I liked it because I was expecting one thing and it
I always
turned out
loved
to be
that.
something else. You know,
What's
it
the
wasn't-
premise?
To tell it without spoiling.
Yeah,
that's
so
the
you can
thing.
watch
It's one of
it,
those
I
movies.
haven't.
It's a guy, a young African American gentleman, goes home with his white girlfriend to meet her parents, and everything is very strange, and it goes from there. It's hard to it really.
Well, that's
Yeah,
it.
it's
You
good.
can't
It's
really
interesting.
explain
It's
it
a
without
situation that he
spoiling.
has
gotta
to
watch
get out of.
It's interesting.
Yeah, but saying too much more just
Yeah.
kind of.
So instead of going modern, because people might
Yeah,
get
it's
the
very hard to
spoilers,
say that.
what are like okay, Universal? Anybody have favorite Universal monsters?
The Wolfman.
Me.
Yeah, you? You're not one.
Yeah.
Oh,
You have
yourself?
to be a monster.
Oh, I
Silly
have to
lady
be.
person.
Oh, you mean like somebody who's a
Dracula.
scripture? No.
Yeah, Dracula.
Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman, the
Creature
creature from the Black Lagoon.
Lagoon.
I guess that's still there in Florida too, where they filmed it. That
The
location's
creature.
still there. Yeah.
I'm big on Frankenstein, except sometimes the reinterpretations get a little weird. Like I could never see Lugosi as Frankenstein. That was
No.
too weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was in Frankenstein versus the Wolfman, but the thing they don't get about that
He was
is
a-
the character's blind. And they cut out a lot of spots about it, because remember when he had the transfer with Igor's brain?
Yeah.
He's blind, but they cut stuff out. So if you see him mumble, sometimes I'm blind. Because that's why he's
Yeah, I
going like
guess they
that.
did. Yeah, yeah. It wasn't really. It wasn't really clear that he was blind, but he was old blind. Yeah, he's the guy who teaches the monster how to smoke
Right.
and to eat bread and
The Gene Hackman character from Young
yeah.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, that's who he's to take off.
I was
of
going
is-
to make espresso. If you've never seen Young Frankenstein, watch it. It's hilarious.
That's hysterical.
The best.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
That's the best.
The Mummy was always my favorite. The old ones, like the first
old
Mummy.
Oh yeah, the best.
That was one of my favorites.
You mean you didn't like the ones with Brendan Fraser?
they
I actually
were
like the
they
Curse
were
of the Mummy
fun.
with Karloff was
They
really
were
good.
fun.
Yeah. Oh, those
Yeah.
were horrible.
They don't even like, because the first movie
Brendan
with
Fraser
Karloff,
movies.
They were fun.
they don't even show. I guess Romero was supposed to direct that, and he said he would have made very old school horror, but he decided
For what?
The Mummy, the Fraser one.
oh,
He
yeah.
said he would have been back classic. But the interesting thing about the first Mummy movie was they only show the Mummy at the beginning.
Yeah.
They show like the little
Right.
paper thing going.
Oh yeah, because he's coming back from the dead the whole time, and then he becomes Imhotep, the priest, the evil priest who tries to usurp the pharaoh and is sleeping with his wife, and played by Arnold Vosloo, who was a great
That's a name.
character actor. I can't remember what nationality he
Played
is.
Darkman.
I think he's.
He was the Dark Man in the sequels, Die Dark Man Die and The Return of Durant. But I love the original Dark Man.
It's great.
It's a classic Sam Raimi movie. It's Liam Neeson doing his
Liam Neeson.
somewhat passable American accent,
Right.
which never works.
You know he's going to come through the ceiling at you now.
Bring him. He's problematic now, so I can take him.
So in defense of Brendan Fraser, if you got to see a movie of his called Monkey Bone. Have you ever seen that?
Oh, Monkey
Oh yeah,
Bridget
with Chris
Fonda
Kattan.
with
It's
the-
he's
He's an animator.
yeah, he's an
Oh,
animator.
it's a
with-
great movie.
Oh, it's a fantastic movie.
You gotta. That'll
Wasn't
be our
the first
geek
or
night movie.
second Night of the Living Dead where it had that one creature that came out of like this gas barrel?
Return of the
Oh,
Living
you're
Dead.
talking about
Or,
Return
yeah,
of the
was
Living
it-
Dead?
Return of the Living Dead.
That is, yes.
I was thinking of like 13.
That is
I don't know.
fantastic.
Return of the
I'm
Living
so
Dead.
tired.
Yeah.
When
there
it
was
was
a-
I always have to
One
point
specific
out.
monster that
Yeah,
like,
the
was
sludge
like-
barrel.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like a candied apple. Just like,
When they
I was like,
they grab the microphone in the ambulance and says, "Send more."
And it's funny that one of
paramedics."
our guests has vanished.
I was like, that's my favorite monster.
Bye, Greg.
I don't know
See you
why.
tonight, Greg.
Oh my God, Greg has disappeared. He's
Right.
disappeared.
Where did Greg go?
Count Mike, what have you done?
And you know the local connection to Return of the Living Dead, Jet Black Berry said something on the soundtrack. He had
They
Love
did.
Under Will.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did not know that. That is,
Yep.
yeah.
It's in the graveyard.
This
Yeah.
is
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that
Like,
scene where no
when was
man
that, in
under
the
the age of
80s?
30 was
Oh,
listening to the
that
music.
scene.
Yeah.
That's why I don't remember the music. That's
Lenore
the,
Quigley.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember them
The original
showing,
Scream Queen.
Always
Clips of
topless.
that
Yeah.
on Channel 13,
Oh,
Yeah, that
the
was
movie.
They would show the movie in the Scourge's place, which was in the basement.
yeah. So we go
While the
there.
band would play, they would show the blood and gore in the background.
Well, that's the big thing to speak about too. Is now we always have Halloween gigs. I know you've always played them,
Yeah.
but you're gonna give
We're
away if you're
somewhere
gonna
near
dress
them.
as this year or not.
We
You can
can
give it
tell
away
what we're
because
gonna
it's
dress
it's
up.
Halloween special, so it won't be
Okay,
a.
so Fox 45 is dressing up. Last year we did Quentin Tarantino, and half of us were Pulp Fiction characters, and then the other half was Kill Bill.
Okay.
So this year we are doing Wayne's World,
Awesome.
and Casey is going to be Garth.
Of course,
Nick's gonna be Wayne, and then I'm Cassandra, and Amanda is Stacy, the ex-girlfriend.
Oh,
Wayne.
Psycho ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
Really
Does anyone have a gun rack we could borrow?
Yeah.
If only we were a little south of the Mason-Dixon line, that
Yeah.
wouldn't even have to be a question.
She knows that whole.
Oh my goodness, yes,
knows
I
it
do.
verbatim.
I do love that movie.
That was Lara Flynn Boyle, wasn't it? In the
See, I just don't know what
was
outfit.
it in
Yes.
the Wayne's World? It was Lara Flynn Boyle, wasn't it?
believe
Was
it
it
was.
Stacy?
Stacy the
Mini
host,
dress.
the psycho host.
Psycho the Psycho Host.
Red
Beast.
with
That's
the
right.
red.
Uh-huh.
And then she does
Yeah.
the boa
Snake dress.
outfit, the snake
Yeah.
dress.
She always wore the snake dress.
Does anyone have a snake I could borrow?
Not if you're gonna turn it into a dress.
I used my
When she was doing the music shoot.
Oh, she. Okay, yeah.
Actually, I should play with a
okay.
white guitar if I do the red outfit.
You have one?
I don't, but
You
my
don't
husband does.
Party on though. It'll be.
Party on!
I'll be a classic demon,
Yes.
and my mouth will be right from here up from my nose to my ears, and my chin will be my teeth.
Cool.
Nice.
Her do your makeup. Oh my god, she does amazing. horror,
Mr.
like, makeup.
Sardonicus!
Really?
Oh,
You
Last
did?
year was her
I
dad.
saw your scar.
No,
that you
the
had
thing
that
2
one
years ago
year.
was
That
crazy.
the
I
Red
didn't even
Riding.
Oh yeah,
recognize
yeah.
you.
That was great.
That
Oh,
was
and then I had a whole
awesome.
mask over my face. I literally took pieces of masking tape,
She's very good.
stripped it across my
makeup
nose
artist.
first, and then did slits for the eyes. So I literally only could see through a tiny slit for the eyes.
That's one of those things that's really cool until you're like,
They
oh
did all
shit,
dark
that's
makeup
why
and,
I
like,
should
Great
have
in
done
theory.
that.
That went up to my,
That's
Yeah.
why.
but
I
I
should
was
have
my
done
whole
this.
face was completely had no makeup
I
on
remember
underneath
you
all
like came
that.
up to me at the Crown. I was a Hamburglar that year. And you came up and you were just like, Vicky, it's crazy. And I was like, who? Because you were under all that stuff.
I could talk. I know I was able to. I couldn't speak
It was
very well,
muffled.
What was,
Oh,
the
yeah,
name, what was the name of that video game where the nurses, there are nurses.
Silent Hill.
Silent Hill.
Yeah.
My daughter
was
did a
creepy.
Silent Hill
One
for
of the
cosplay.
scariest
They
video
did all
game
herself.
franchises
Yeah,
ever.
that's
Very
yeah,
scary.
yeah.
I could never play
The
alone.
character.
I was like, what?
Comes the static. Oh, here comes the
Pyramid
static.
Head,
get the
Pyramid Head
storyline.
walks in,
Head
it's
walks in, yeah.
terrifying.
I never got the storyline of Silent Hill.
Not really.
There's no
really,
really-
not really
right?
much.
It's just like
I mean,
you're scared. Yeah, no, it was really
you have to go into you have to go into a scary place and find something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and
Monsters, demons,
and there are
Pyramid
things
Head.
there, and then when
Yeah.
when the static comes and the monsters come,
Have you
it gets
guys been
dark.
to a
And,
very good haunted house before?
I used to live in
The
one.
new one.
Yeah, what have been some of your haunted houses you've been to? Have you been to any
I've
good
been
ones?
to a
was
few.
truly.
I wanna hear.
Where it was.
I'll
it used
tell
to
you.
be an
We'll go to
old
the good
media
ones.
play. I think it's still.
it's Nightmare
They
Manor.
have that
Yeah,
one?
and they're
That was not
I think they're
bad.
still in
The
South. I
actual-
think this
yeah.
year they're
Yeah,
down where Burlington
They
was.
moved?
Yeah, they moved.
Yeah, they're
they
always
moved down.
in Southtown because
was
the
really
trampoline
good.
parks are.
No, there
now,
was a
but
hayride that was out in Williamson that was really, really good too.
There's some good
Yeah.
ones that yeah.
That's the one the guy tried to pull me off of the thing and realized I was a lot heavier than I looked. So he gave up.
Like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
He gave up halfway through. I patted him on the shoulder. Like, it's okay,
It's
fella,
okay,
you
it's fine,
tried.
You tried. I performed at Fear at Frontier one year when they were still doing that.
Dude,
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
they don't do
creepy.
That
Yeah, it was
good.
fun.
That was creepy.
Well, by perform I mean
Well, yeah,
I
you
stood in a
were-
costume and jumped out at people. Performed. Wow, listen
No,
to me.
I don't mean it. That is kind of a performance because
Oh, it is. I mean, it is. I mean, you're
So-
you're hired as an actor,
Right,
But yeah,
right.
it's that you don't have to memorize any lines.
Yeah, well, some of
You
those
do have to-
actors were really
Try
convincing.
hitting you because they got so scared.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna
Oh,
say yeah, but people
gosh.
will punch you, so that is a
Oh my
thing.
god!
Well, they say not to touch. Like I remember, like
You
it-
can't control.
No, Man Up
people
Two
when they're-
Sows.
Oh,
They
yeah,
said
they
that
get scared.
people will jump up, they won't touch you, but your reflexes.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
reflex is
Yeah.
to swing.
Yeah, no, that was, the rule we had was don't touch you never touch anyone. Never, ever, if you can avoid it. If someone jumps at you, you can't do anything about it. But, yeah, a lady punched me in the chest.
Oh my God.
And I just went back in my corner where I came from and cried. No. But, I was just as a pirate. It was like we were in a pirate house, and it was just scary. I'd just jump out and yell, R, because that's all pirates say, R, historically.
History says all pirates
said
R.
It's just the thing. Look it up.
Yeah, Google it.
Google it. You'll find it. But yeah, that's what I learned is that people have the different reactions people have to fear are crazy. Mm-hmm. And so some people burst out laughing, and that's, I think, the best one, for my opinion, because you don't expect it as a performer. Because you jump out, they burst out laughing. At first, you're like, you jump out, they laugh. Then at first, you're like, oh, what the frig? And then you start laughing, and you have to go away. Because now you're laughing, and you're just like.
I got a couple people to laugh with me too.
It's just like because it's a ridiculous situation.
Do you remember
it's
when
so
Sonnenberg Gardens put on their thing?
Oh yeah, I went to that one year.
I need to tell you
do
something.
that all the time.
4
as a
years
kid.
old.
Yeah.
My parents took me to Sonnenberg Gardens, okay? And I'm going on the 27th. I'm going the Sunday. It's on the
They have it?
27th. They're doing it only one night. It's a night through the stroll. They only do it one
you
night.
stroll around the
gotta go.
gardens and things.
I got to go in there because when I remember being 4 years old,
I
we
was
took a
scared.
trolley. We got on like a little trolley up, and we went through the sidewalks, and there was all these wax figurines on the side, and they were all mechanically moving.
Oh,
They
dear.
looked
Nope.
so real.
Nope.
There was this one, 4 years old, and I remember this like it was yesterday. There was a wax figurine sitting at a piano and just hitting the last note. That was weird.
They did that very well. As a kid,
I
I
ended
was
up hitting a
scared
guy in the
too.
balls. On my dad's back. It was the reflexes that we're talking about. I was 4 years old. I'm on my dad's back, and I got him. We're walking up these flights of stairs, and there's this guy in an army or a marine suit or something like a dead soldier suit. And I had my legs up in front of my dad, and he came up, and he was standing right there, and I didn't even.
Now that is
I
scary.
didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. I was 4 years old.
Kicked in the face by a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's the reflexes. It's the.
I remember being so scared I would just wave at all the actors as a kid,
I-
and they would wave back.
I
Anything
is
I can't remember where it
You're
was.
too cute. You're just like, oh, I can't.
We were walking, and I was with a friend of mine, or something, and he's like, "Wait, guys are gonna come around the corner right now." And then the guy appeared. I was like, "He's like, how'd you know?" He's like, "Wear less cologne." That's all he said. That's all he said to the guy. He said, "Wear less cologne next time."
We went to Niagara Falls recently with my dad and my brother, and there's a few. There's a house of Dracula, there's a house of Frankenstein, and then there's the Nightmare Fear Factory.
Oh, is that all the stuff on Lundy's Lane?
Yeah, it's Clifton Hill.
Clifton Hill, yeah.
And I won't go in the Nightmare Fear Factory because that is the one that is world famous for being
That's really
super scary.
Oh,
And I know my
It's
limit.
super scary.
Yeah, I went in the house of Frankenstein, which is literally so old. It's and they haven't updated it in many years, but it's 90% of it is just you're just walking in the dark.
and it's creepy.
But you're just in the dark, and there's music and stuff, but it's just like, and it's like, but there's a lot of times you're walking upstairs in the dark, and I'm like, how is this a thing?
How is that legal?
How is this legal? It's like,
Because it's Canada. They don't care.
yeah,
Upstairs
it's like,
to the upstairs
I mean,
basement.
you got free healthcare, I guess they're fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
They
you
have
fall
one
down the
night
stairs.
So they
You're
gotta
done.
really just put on a show for that one.
Yeah,
night, for
oh,
everybody
one.
that walks in there. Only one night.
That's a lot of
Actually,
preparation
used
for
to
one
do
night.
that. Bob Burns, the old special effects. You remember he played Tracy the Gorilla on that Ghostbusters show? He does a thing. He might still do it at his house where he has a 15-minute skit, and he has actors. He had Walter Koenig play it one year, and people just walk through.
Oh yeah, it's just, people will do that. People will set up haunted houses in their neighborhoods.
We had one in our
and,
neighborhood down by us. If they were crowded, I'd put the devil horns on my dog and walk up. And I scared some kid one year. The kid, it's a devil dog. It's a devil dog.
And mom was like, "Oh, wait, this kid."
But they would pack the street on the back, and people would just walk in and out, and that'd be it. So
Yeah.
that's like one of those. But the old fairgrounds actually used to have haunted houses. Remember those at all?
Yeah, I never went.
No.
I live in my own.
But then I think of like real haunted places around here too.
Oh, you're just talking about
Yeah.
the reunion being haunted.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
down in Seabreeze.
Yeah.
you've taken your dinner.
Yeah.
Your dinner.
Oh,
When
yeah.
was that built?
Well, it was not just haunted because of him being there. But I mean, that helped. I mean, kind of
No,
helped.
the building was built in 1854, and there's a psychic woman that actually went in there yesterday, and I worked there since I was 18. I was dying to know what spirit she saw or if she experienced any energies or anything. So she did state that she knew 4 spirits were there. One was a little boy with a mother that had like a Victorian style dress. I think that's what any apparition anybody's ever seen as a woman with a dress. That would be her. Word for word, she said, "There's a very large, dark-skinned male in the basement." She goes, "I don't know. I think he was a type of caretaker here. I don't see him being like a slave or anything like that because it was. I mean, I don't think that was happening in
I have to do
1854.
my history research.
Not so much in the north at that time.
No. So she's like, I don't see him having any issues with that. He was here on the property and he was making sure everything was being the way it should be. She goes, he's a gentle giant.
What a sweetheart.
Right? And then there's an Irishman that likes to whistle in the place that worked on horses.
An Irishman in a bar. Go figure.
I know, right? Who knew?
Trust me, all these spirits that are there are happy and they want to be there. They're not.
You should have checked it out,
Trust me,
Susie.
I'm more
You
happy
probably
that
felt
people want to
something.
be
I
in
would've.
there than it being vacant. For sure.
I lived in a haunted house, couple haunted
I gotta hear
houses.
this.
Yeah.
When I was 5, we lived in Geneseo. On Crosset Road, right next to the expressway, there's this little farmhouse with a farm on it. It's completely dilapidated now. But I'm sure my mom was like growing weed.
It's a good place to do it.
Yeah, well, yeah, but we would go to sleep. My brother and I shared a room, and these 2 dark figures were like robed in dark robes, and they would fly over us and just continue to fly over us. And we said something to my parents, and my mom's like, "Oh, there's no such thing as that." And my dad is like, "Yeah, they're here, and they're here to protect you. So just let it be."
I had one of the scariest stories of my life in Geneseo for Halloween. Around Halloween, I had relatives out there by Geneseo and Avon, and when I was a kid, my parents took me out there. They were going to go to dinner, so I stayed with my young cousin, and my grandmother watched us. And we swore that there was somebody trying to get in the house. And it was one of those nights where it was just utterly terrifying. Like, it seemed somebody was trying to get in the house. And then, as soon as the parents got home, it was great. Now, the footnote would be like if we saw footprints or something, but we didn't. But it's just how the mind plays tricks on you in the country.
Oh, yeah.
But then again, we had the people, we had the RIP, the Ride in Peace Hearse people on our show.
That was interesting,
And they came up, and I took my dad for a walk in the mall when it wasn't too cold. I tried to take him out, and he's in his wheelchair, and they had the haunted house there. So this shows you how it affects some people. He's going on about going in the haunted house. Like, what do you want to go in there for? So he goes in there. Something runs up to him. He asks him if they could give him a candy bar.
You took your dad into a haunted house?
He kept bothering me.
He wanted to trick or treat, damn it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, he kept asking the spirit for
Feed
candy
the
bar.
man. Would you please?
In our old house in the 19th
get
ward,
any weirder.
Donna and I lived there for 10 years, and the cheetah horse used to rehearse there all the time. So we would have our rehearsals. But before we'd come in, I'd say, "Okay, everybody, this house is really haunted, so you have to be nice to the spirits. Let's all stand around and let them give us a big hug." And every single one of those girls was like, "Oh my God!"
I would not.
It was awesome.
I couldn't.
Just good, like, I'm not really a hugger.
One day, it was like right when I first moved in, and I'm alone at the house and we had 4 cats at the time. Who knows? We have 4 cats now. But
Who needs ghosts?
yeah, right, exactly. So I'm jamming out. I'm doing Earl Kramer View rehearsal, and I'm just totally lost. And all of a sudden, the stereo turns off. Bam, 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 bam. Each window is being rapped on 3 times, and then it goes upstairs and does the same
Okay,
thing.
yeah, bye-bye.
And then it goes,
Don't you like the song?
Susie! And I'm like, hello?
Oh my God.
And then the stereo turns back on, and it's this man's voice talking. And I'm like, this has got to be a joke. I'm thinking, this has got to be a joke. No joke. And then I was like, okay, I'm really nice. I'll turn the music down.
See, I've had a weird relationship
Wow.
with spirits as
Yeah.
a child. My dad's a priest, so I grew up the whole time with him just being like, just tell him to go away.
Yeah, I'm a preacher's kid,
I'm
so
like,
I get it.
Like, I don't. Okay, what do I like? Are spirits real? Like, I don't even know.
It's just like, just tell them to go
I
away.
just
It's
know
fine.
Christianity is just like they're just kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever. They're, like our country isn't as spiritual, so to say, as other countries.
Right.
So like it's just funny. Like my dad is just like, yeah, psh,
Tell them to
whatever.
piss off.
I was
Yeah.
like, but you're a priest. Like, come on.
Well, it depends on what you mean by
No.
spiritual too. That
Well,
seems
like,
like a loaded word that means
supernatural
yeah. As
kinda-
far as that, yeah.
Because like Amanda's in Spain. My bassist is in Spain right now, and she's like they're just way more open to.
Oh yeah, well they
susceptible to that,
there's a
like-
lot. Yeah, I mean their folklore goes back a long
Yeah, a lot further than ours does.
So
does.
it's like not
So,
uncommon to run into
Yeah.
people who are like ghost hunters out there. You know.
Yeah.
It's like oh.
now it's like you're just trying to get your own TV show.
Yeah. Yeah.
We should have our own ghost hunting show.
Oh, you should go on a ghost hunt.
A ghost hunt.
See, I'm too scared that they're
Eastman
gonna follow.
Dental.
I know.
I don't want
I
to
was
go.
Eastman
dispensary.
Dental
Yeah.
is now an apartment complex.
Oh yeah, no, I was kind
my
of bummed
God,
to
could
see
you
that, but at the
imagine
same time,
living there.
And I was Uber and lifting for a lot a while back, and I asked people that I would drop off. I'm like, so, you see any ghosts? And they're like, what are you talking about?
It's like you don't know.
I'm like, you don't know that it's one of the most haunted places in the world.
Have you been to
next to them
Allentown?
armory?
Over,
South haunted by
Yes.
reasonable
Or I
rents.
think
Dentist from hell.
That's
Yeah,
really
oh,
cool.
jeez, they're haunted already, aren't
It
they?
feels creepy.
It
there.
does.
Well, East Bethany, Rolling Hills.
yeah, Rolling Hills. They have. Do they still do the tours there? Because I know they would do tours.
It's yeah.
They've been on several shows.
Where's Amityville? Is that close?
It's in Long Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
way
Oh,
downstate.
okay.
Well, they have
Oh,
the thing
don't get me
about the
started on
Linden
that.
murders too. When I was at Rolling Hills, there was some story in the 50s about some serial killer around in Linden. They were somehow suspecting it was an inmate there who somehow got out, and he must have enjoyed living there because he kept coming back. Never been solved.
He liked the banana pudding.
You get it right.
I can't escape on Thursday. That's meatloaf day.
What's the name of that show with Soren Sarsgaard on what is that? Hulu? Castle Rock?
Oh, Castle Rock, the Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, Bill Skarsgård. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what that reminds me of.
One of the multitude of the
Yeah.
Skarsgårds.
You know, it's
Stellan
a prison
Skarsgård's a
town,
very
and
prolific breeder.
Damn right he is.
yeah,
It's all nice-looking Swedish boys.
that's for sure.
Yeah, that show and that show
Pennywise.
is like
That's all I think of is Pennywise.
yeah. Well, he's all the stuff he did, like the stuff with his eye and his crazy. That's all stuff he did.
We're talking
They
about Tim
didn't-
Curry. No.
No, I'm talking about Bill Skarsgård in
Was
the
it
recent.
Bill?
Bill
Yeah,
Skarsgård.
yeah.
Bill Skarsgård, and
I
yeah,
get 'em all-
they
I
were
get 'em
like
all
The
confused.
most recent one.
talking about, oh, we want to do some effect with your eyes where they look off center. He go, what do you mean like this? And he just made
Oh
one of
my
his
Yeah, he
eyes go
shifted
off
his
center.
eyeball.
Just, just do that.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's very
He
good.
even explained how he made that face. He goes, I used to pick on his little brother or something like
Yeah, he would just make that face, and he just
Yeah,
like,
to torture one of the younger Skarsgårds.
yeah, he was just like,
Who
oh,
knows, that would come
somebody
in
wants
handy later
Pennywise.
on. Yeah, right.
He just went in there and
Tim
put
Curry
that
was a
roll in his
great-
pocket and walked away with it.
I remember seeing like the behind the scenes for Evil Dead and like how they just filmed it, and it
Oh,
is an art form
Oh,
filming
it's great.
horror.
It's
Like
great.
just-
Well, and those guys, they had
Yeah.
nothing. They did it on no money.
A shoestring.
Yeah. If Bruce Campbell's first autobiography is called "If Chins Could Kill,"
Yeah.
and it's because in depth from his point of view of making the Evil Dead movies. Yeah, he has at least 3 books. There's
What was it? It was it,
Make
the-
Love the Bruce Campbell Way,
And then wasn't there like
there's
Confessions of a B movie?
Confessions
actor?
of a Well,
It was like
it's,
Chin,
if
wasn't
Chins
it?
Could
Oh,
Kill,
that's the-
Confessions of a
right.
B movie actor.
Yeah.
It's one of the best
Oh, he's hilarious.
books I've read on like becoming an actor in film. Like just
I seriously think he should be named Emperor of the Universe.
he's I'm hopefully we'll get to meet him someday because he does every convention. So,
Yeah.
but-
He's all over the place.
One thing I was
Yeah.
just going to go around. What is really the appeal of the season for everybody? There's still some appeal to Halloween. Is it changed?
That's a great question that you asked that, because I was thinking that on the way over here. When I was younger, all I wanted to do was decorate the yard and make it look as cool as possible. And in my neighborhood, I live over by the zoo. Everyone's got to one-up everyone. You know,
Those are
and-
the best neighborhoods.
And our neighbor that lives behind us, he's like, he has a big giant sound system out there. He every year he builds a tunnel that goes into the back.
Keeping up with the gruesomes.
Da.
It's like as a kid, you go to like the richest neighborhoods to get the bigger candy bars.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I know where I'm going this year.
Right.
Yeah.
So this year, I'm not doing that. I changed. I know, right? I just have a stupid pumpkin and a little white pumpkin, and that's it. And
You think that you think there'd be a company somewhere that like sets up people's decorations?
Oh, guaranteed.
There is
I'm sure there's
definitely-
something.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you
very
pay somebody
good.
enough
So
money, they'll do anything.
probably later on today, I'm just gonna pull it all out and put it up there.
I just got my 3 pumpkins with dragon wings and my white pumpkin who leads them.
I love white pumpkins. I
I
like
have
the weird
a
looking
pumpkin.
ones.
You
I
have
don't even
a
have
pumpkin.
a pumpkin.
Oh, I'm carving that pumpkin because we're doing a video called Pumpkin Love, which I actually gave.
Yes,
Rob.
we're gonna play that. We're gonna
We wrote this in.
Pumpkin love rocks. Yes, yes.
It's I wrote the song while carving a pumpkin and thinking of Dexter.
Nice.
But one of the best tricks I've ever seen trick-or-treating was there was one house I'd go to and it was all decorated, flashing lights. And they would give you a Snickers bar and a balloon. And you, what are they doing here? What are they doing? So you forget about it. But then you go down a couple of houses that put a candy bag and it bursts.
It's crazy.
I guess the appeal of the season is that I don't know, it's just like, it's just obviously different from every other season, you know? And it's kind of like, you're kind of gearing up towards like death. I don't know. It's just like, it's.
Well, that's
it's
true, though.
That's
Yeah.
the whole idea
Knowledge.
behind
It's
it.
like
It is.
just transforming into another season. Kind of thing.
Exactly what it is.
I gotta go, guys. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut us.
It's all right. No. Another ghost has abducted somebody
time
else.
is
Open
Another-
the coffin, the crypt will open yet again.
Time to escape.
I love it.
Can I get?
All right, slide over.
There we go. All
So if you ever get a chance to come down to the studio for one of these tapings, we do some limbo. It's Mike Limbo, and we have our new champion.
And this is becoming one of the more interesting episodes we've had.
We've lost 2 people.
Guests are being abducted.
Yeah, no, the next 5 minutes is just going to be Rob.
It's all the drummers. They explode.
Yeah, we've had drummers.
Like Spinal Tap.
The drummers both exploded.
Yeah.
Dying in a bizarre
without
gardening
the green
accident.
rocks.
I mean, to me, the Halloween it's like the same thing. It's like the it's the cycle of ending and getting towards where things get quiet. And growing up, you go to you start school, so it's a weird like you always even years later you feel like new things are going to happen. When I get to fall, I always feel like something new is going to happen because just going back to then, and I grew up in in the Stranger Things years. Like that's what it was kind of like, was where kids would tear loose. You get home, you'd tear loose, you'd run around, you'd get on your bike and ride around, and kind of be on your own, even though your parents always knew where you were, But that feeling, this feeling seems to always bring me back to that time more than anything. Just because of starting a new school year.
It was a simpler time.
We would just
it's really
bike
the
ride
same,
by the
but-
canal, and our parents would be go out and play dinners at 5, and we'd be gone.
Yeah,
We had a canal to explore,
yeah.
so we were always down by the canal in the woods and everything. We'd pop up.
Let the kids
Did
go
you
by
say-
the canal.
Halloween,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
season
Did you
was
say?
way more fun for people
and
back
every-
in the
and
day
every week
because
you
nowadays
died.
Parents are just like paranoid and
Absolutely.
like some parents don't want to give out candy anymore. It's just
It's
like
sad because
apples,
it's
like,
all
as a
that
kid,
all that is
I
based
don't
on.
want to get apples.
It's all
That's-
based on lies.
know.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. It's all the only person who's ever been recorded poisoning candy did it to their own child.
Yeah, they wanted to kill their own family,
Yeah.
they gave
Yeah,
it to the
they-
neighborhood
they-
kids, and they tracked him down really
Yeah,
goddamn
urban myths.
fast.
Yeah,
Think
there's
about
a-
it.
there's
Think
a
about it.
documentary
I don't want to get morbid,
It
not
ruined
like that, but think
trick-or-treating.
about it. You're trick or treating. You're going to go in your neighborhood. This is a very smart area. So if somebody gets something like that, you're going to find who
You're
the
gonna
heck
know who it
he
was.
is.
Yeah.
Everybody knows where they went. Yeah,
Exactly.
nobody. Yeah, I mean, yeah, crazy people happen, but it's
But
not something
those,
you can predict.
and I've said this, but those were the originations of the viral videos. Oh, I heard from somebody who heard from somebody who heard
yeah,
from their
it's a
cousin in
legend.
Nevada that somebody put a razor blade in an apple.
Yeah, no one's
Oh, yeah.
There's
Yeah, I
there's no
remember that.
cases,
I remember that
reported
scare.
cases of anyone actually putting a razor blade in the apple.
Yeah,
that
never
anyone's
happened.
ever reported.
But Ken, I have to ask this: like favorite costumes when you were a kid. Count Mike, did you dress up as a normal person?
No, I was never normal, so I mean, I didn't have to dress up, but I don't remember. All I remember is vomiting in 1967 because I had too much candy and I had a plastic mask on, which I couldn't breathe. So my father had to pull over the car, and I had to throw up on Lather Road.
Through the mask.
Remember, I could smell the mask.
I took the mask off.
I could smell that
There's
mask
a
as soon as
visual.
you said
Yes.
that. Those plastic masks that probably
Yes.
took 10 years off our
It
lives.
was the 60s. It was toxic.
It smells like rotting
Everything
Romano
was made of lead and
cheese.
asbestos back then.
See,
Improved your constitution, it did.
I still, to this day, I can't eat anything when, like, dressed up in like, Halloween makeup or
To this day, I still can't eat waffles while dressed up as a clown.
I like to do it, but I can't. I can't. The smell of makeup, the feel of the smell, and the rubber latexy smell grosses me out. It's fun to do it, but I can't eat around that.
Just
Like
like
I have
on
to
your
eat
face
later.
all
My
day.
my
Yeah,
mom
I
made
can't
us.
do it.
My mom made us make our own costumes, and my brother and I. My brother wanted to be Darth Vader, and I wanted to be a stormtrooper. So we took bowls and put them over our
That's what you did.
heads.
I remember the one year I went as a dye. Got a cardboard
Rubber
box,
box and just put
painted
little
it white,
tips
put
on it, so-
dots on it, cut 2 armholes and a head hole, and I was a dye one year.
It's a 6-sided die.
That's awesome.
That is true.
Yeah. You got 2 of your friends and rolled up D&D characters.
Yeah, my mom would have. Well, no, we get the. Well, no way. I was going to say we get the really fat kid, but that was me. Making it the 20-sided. But nobody had a box like that.
Nobody had a 20-sided box.
But no, actually, that's something because you were talking about dressing up for your shows. As a larger chap as I am, there aren't really any good costumes we can pull off.
There's the costume. Oh, sorry.
Touche.
Oh, Susie has something.
Susie has a
Touche. My sister's ex-husband, Rick, really great guy, dressed up as Ronades one year.
As what?
Ronades, Ronald Reagan, Ronades.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
I thought that was really funny. I guess you had to be there to see it.
but really,
It's
like
great.
I guess.
Nobody wanted to see. Nobody would believe if we were kids the fat ghost. Nobody believed a fat ghost.
Yeah, you
No,
always had to
did.
dress up as a fat version of something that was not fat.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm a fat scarecrow this year. Like, dude,
I'm a skeleton.
yeah, exactly. I'm the fat skeleton.
There's a guy on the most recent version of the Tick, and I think his name is Kevin. He's the guy with the tinfoil
the
hat with
tinfoil hat.
a little antennas on it, and
Yeah.
that's what's going to be my cosplay. It was just you just need a flannel shirt
A flannel shirt
and
and a hat.
a bunch of tinfoil that
Yeah.
you're coming ahead, and you're Kevin.
Instead of playing
superpowers.
Lady Gaga for many years, I was Madame Goo.
Mr. Go-Go.
Oh, Lady Gaga hurt herself real bad falling.
Yeah,
asleep.
really
did
bad.
she?
Yeah, it was like no joke. She really
Oh, that's
she hurt
unfortunate.
herself.
Well, she had invited the guy to come
Yeah.
up because he wrote her a letter because he's really ill.
Yeah.
So he goes up on stage
Yeah, they-
and she jumps on top of him and wraps her legs around him and his legs went
Yeah,
out.
which was
And they
so that
fell.
she it's yeah, it was a bad move on all parts.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Great
That's
intent.
unfortunate.
The woman has more talent in her little finger.
Oh my
than most people
God.
have in their whole body.
You kidding me?
Absolutely.
Holy cow.
Absolutely. I
She's
totally
amazing.
agree.
Well, I
love-
still think too of like
love
not
Lady
only with
Gaga.
her, but
Yeah,
like the
she's
theme,
great.
like the Cramps or something, or Rocky Erickson. It's their time of year.
It's
Oh
time
yeah,
absolutely.
oh Rocky
for me to
Erickson.
play that for 2
Oh,
hours.
Yes.
was it oh god, what's the one album with all the monster songs on it?
Monster.
Yeah.
It's the
No,
Halloween
Rocky
Yeah,
Erickson.
Halloween Hootenanny.
Rocky Erickson.
Well, Rocky Erickson had his
Well, lots
issues.
of, lots
he played
of,
lots.
well,
of
no,
stuff.
lots of there was one album in particular. I can't remember. What
The
it's called.
evil one, probably.
Yeah, it was the evil. Yeah.
Gremlins had pictures.
I kind of I found him way late in the game. Like
Well, we knew about him
but yeah, I mean,
a little
you're-
bit, but
yeah. There's a lot of stuff that just
oh, you find more of the Misfits, the Cramps.
Oh yeah, the Misfits. I remember. Yeah, the Misfits. I was into in high school. I this around time of year I will start listening to. I'll play Bela Lugosi's Dead 4 times in a row in my car as I'm going somewhere. If I'm going in a long drive, I will play Misfits. I put my phone on YouTube and I just let it go because that's
My annual contribution to a whole lot of Shakin' I post on the walls. Boris Karloff doing the peppermint twist.
Do I have that?
I haven't
don't
done that
know.
one this year yet.
All right, go ahead. Do it.
I do it every
I
year.
might play it.
Maybe, maybe not.
yeah. Do we have any Halloween spooky music we're playing at the end of the show
Yes.
today? Yeah.
Oh, we do?
Yes, we do.
Oh.
It is
Yes,
the
we
number
do.
one
Are we
smash
good?
hit
I don't
the
know if we're
pumpkin
getting
love.
at
No?
that.
Yeah, but it's been interesting. We've never had so many people. And
Yeah,
so
that's
many
the thing. This
thingies.
is
Oh yeah.
And we'll
this
have
was
everybody
fun,
back,
though.
of course.
Like
to
7
different.
people back.
I don't know. People keep
They
disappearing.
keep vanishing. though.
we started at 7, we ended with 5,
made
and by
the
the time
point,
we
though,
leave,
they were
only
the
2 of us will
drummers.
walk out.
The drummers, and they vanished. They blew up.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. You gotta
Blowed up
play it.
real good.
But on this Hallows Eve, who wants to plug things?
Yes,
Who
well,
was someone
Count Mike
plug?
would have played.
What?
Your radio show.
Saturday, the 26th of October.
Well, this will be on the 31st, so it's
Then
already
the hell with that. But anyway, it was a good show. It's all horror music.
Yes.
And then on November 6th or something, I don't know, the next Saturday I'll be doing like normal stuff.
For you.
Like normal.
Susie. What's going on?
With me? What are you guys talking about?
Well, what
Plug.
plugs?
Oh,
plug-in.
put the phone down.
We're at the plug-in.
Oh,
plugging
plugs. Tonight, which will
It's
not
going to be on the
aired,
31st.
This is on the 31st.
November 2nd at Rio in
But the show tonight was
Canandaigua.
really good.
Yeah,
It was
an amazing
fantastic. I dressed up as a demon. It was
Great.
really amazing. With Paul Piermico playing drums. And if you know who Paul is, he used to play in the Isotopes. And Cindy and Jen may be dancing, may not be dancing. We don't know. But we have dancers that come on occasionally, and we love them very much. And Paul is a great addition to... He says, I like a challenge, man. He owns HTB Press. Great guy. A great family. His kids are great. His son is rock star. I digress. November 2nd. See you there.
Cool.
It's a Day of the Dead, so
Aloha.
please come
Aloha.
dressed.
Mazel tov.
Yeah, Vicky,
tell her
what's
what-
going
what I can't say.
I don't know. Fox shows. I mean, we have one Tuesday, but this will be out.
It was good. It was
It was a
really
great
It
good.
was
show.
a great show.
Should've been there.
Oh,
The
it was
Well
amazing.
from Texas.
It was
Very
really good.
band.
See, we're doing time travel again like
I
we've
know,
done
we are
before on
time
Yeah,
traveling.
we just explained everything.
Well, I haven't really fully announced this yet, but it is like definitely 98% happening. I'm hosting an art show with my friend at the old Joywave spot, or I think right next to Bug Jar somewhere. We're doing an art opening called Soft Opening.
Okay.
And it's gonna be my friends that have a bunch of like vintage nudes for sale that they found at the basement of the Small World or books the
Yeah.
bookstore.
Oh.
So there's a bunch of funny vintage nudes that are just like naked women playing piccolos. Like it's just
Yes,
it's
because
weird.
isn't that what women do when they go home?
I got back in the day. Yeah.
Back in the day,
No,
it's all
back
you
in
had
the
to
day, I mean, what are you doing after this?
Nowadays,
Going home
I
and
don't
busting
own
out the
a piccolo,
piccolo.
but I have a recorder.
All right, the viola then.
But they're gonna be putting those up for sale, and I think we're gonna have a few vendors like Kelsey Lee Artistry and my friend Elliot who makes candles, and it's gonna be like kind of erotic themed, but not fully. And then my
Yes.
friend and I are doing a pole performance, so we have like a performance, and I have hula hoopers coming in.
So
it's gonna be like a
so
cool,
erotic
art
without
show.
being explicit.
Yeah.
More
without
burlesque,
being,
I
like,
would say.
cheesy.
Yeah,
it's very,
fun.
it's a classy erotic,
Yeah.
kind of situation.
I've seen your Fringe
And
Fest
then-
shows too.
Yeah,
so
yeah, and
Hooperellas, right?
people-
'Cause the
yeah, I was
Hooperellas
in the
are-
Hooperellas for a while. Not many people know I perform. I've done dance. I'm classically ballet trained since the age of
Nice.
5, so I've done it all my life. And so I've been doing a lot more dance performance lately because I don't know, I haven't done it in a while. I miss it. So
Nice.
I'd love
started
to have
doing
your
stuff.
dance troupe do a collaboration with us in our
Oh,
Pumpkin
definitely.
Love video.
definitely, if
She
you-
is
Other
dancing
videos.
now. You can't see it, but it's wonderful.
Everyone's always
That would be
dancing.
just
I know.
contact me. I'll give you my
Dancing
info.
on the ceiling.
Absolutely.
And we've done like performances for my friend's band, the Arguments and stuff, and they do a 3 Heads show every month.
I heard there were little disagreements at that show, though.
Yeah, they
The
have
arguments.
arguments. They do. It is a staged thing, but it's so funny because every time they come up with a different theme, like they always argue, so it's perfect. And then for the soft opening show, we're gonna try to get Are They Yes They Are and stuff. We're gonna try to have like a late night shindig thing, but it's just basically to like help the Psychic Garden dudes, try to find a home soon. So I'll have more info on that, but that will be in the future.
Stay
That's gonna
tuned for
happen on
that.
Black Friday. So.
Well, I won't be near the stores. Every year I watch all the people by the mall. I just say, I'm
Yeah.
glad I don't
Now
do this.
that is
Drive by
scary.
real slow,
Very
laugh
scary.
to yourself.
Totally forgot. I'll be playing rhythm guitar with the Mandatones at Record Archive on Black Friday.
Ooh, there we
So
go.
yeah, Black Friday, don't go to the stores. Just stop down to those shows.
Yeah.
Music, so it's way
Avoid
better
the
use of your
lines.
time.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Way
Patrick, what's going on?
Yeah, what's going on at Muck these
At
days?
Muck, well, the next thing I'm doing at Muck is I will be in a show put on by DVC called Ruslana and Yelena, a modern-day Russian revolution. It is a retelling of Romeo and Juliet set in modern-day Moscow by William Shakespeareokoff. I didn't write that. That's Mario's fault.
Oh,
December 5th through the 7th at Muck. I will be playing the nurse. And it's going to be I'm not going to say much about it, but if you think you know Romeo and Juliet, come see it because it's
Will there be vodka involved?
there could be.
Yes.
And when this airs, you
Bring
will
your
have
own
anybody
vodka.
who's dared will have
Potato
seen
vodka. Oh,
D&D
yeah.
Part 2.
Hey,
It's going to happen.
D&D Part 2 is on the
Will have
physical
happened.
date we're on now. In a few days, we'll be shooting Part 2, and there should be vast technical improvements.
And my costume improvements.
Okay,
An
yeah.
revenge for my cousin.
I will wear pants this time.
Well, you don't have to. I mean, nobody really
Nobody
sees
will
it.
know.
And
That's the sad part that nobody
in
will know.
theory, our legs should be covered up by our
by our new
our
addition.
table cam, so you can actually see the little minis we're playing with, and not like kind of squint and see them.
like
True.
me.
I'm still working on that.
I got nothing to plug. Halloween, I'll be doing my normal, sitting at home watching bad movies and drinking
I'll be
drinking
at
a
work
beer.
till 8.
I got away from my Halloween 12-pack, though. That was what I used to do. Sit in my driveway with a bowl full of candy and a 12-pack, and the dads would be like, trick or treat. I gave a dad a beer once.
Nice.
He was walking around with his kid.
No kids ever come on my street.
That's what I said.
And I don't care. I'm giving out candy with peanuts in it.
Yes,
Good.
it's good. Boy.
Oh,
Just gotta say it's got peanuts in it,
Yeah.
or just know. It's got
No,
peanuts
well, we all know
well,
that's
you know,
not the case.
the whole. I love the bags. I got a bag of nuts that says contains nuts.
This toilet paper now gluten-free. We've seen it. We have seen it. This beef jerky now gluten-free. I'm not making that up.
Well,
Go to
again,
most
it's
gas
like a thing I
stations.
saw recently.
Yeah,
They have
gluten-free.
so on,
Not
Sam
vegan.
Hain, so on, everything
No.
else. Day of the Dead. We have pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
Isn't that just like nutmeg? Isn't
Yeah,
it
it's
just
like
like
vanilla and
It's
nutmeg.
not
No,
like
no.
pumpkin
Not that
spice. It has nothing to
that-
do with pumpkin.
Wasn't that the redheaded girl they kicked out of the Spice Girls?
No, that was
Ginger?
ginger spice.
Ginger spice, right?
Ginger spice.
Wow, way to ruin my pun with reality.
Sorry. Well, you know,
Well, we actually have.
I'll bring better puns.
Touché, sir.
Susie, would you like?
Touché.
We're going to play the song at the end. Pumpkin. Would you like to introduce this? And happy Halloween, everyone.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
That's frightening.
I am giving you life, 'cause I'm carving out your facial lines. You just stare at me and stick with nothing. So motionless, so willing. Ooh, your girl's out your mouth. I'm not giving up the thrill as I'm pulling at your heart. You stare at me with that cold, evil grin. Stop looking at me before I make you go in. You're an evil, evil ring. I'm gonna make you go into the pumpkin. Yeah, the pumpkin, the pumpkin. You're my pumpkin love. You're my pumpkin love. pumpkin love, you have to go that step. The pumpkin love, you belong to me. Now pumpkin love, I want a while to be.